Hey everyone, welcome back to Yellow Jacket Garage. And yes, the salvage title C5 is back. I'd like to thank Burke over at the Road Odyssey channel. And down in the description below, I'm going to put a link to his channel so you can check out some of his stuff that he does. I want to thank him. I appreciate what he does. He hooked me up with one of his t-shirts, and finally we've done that swap. So anyway, I appreciate Burke and I appreciate what he does, and I appreciate where this car is headed. So that's another story for another day. But I want to talk about a little bit some upcoming projects that we're going to do on the car. This video is more of an update discovery type of a thing. So anyway, one of the next things we're going to do is we're going to replace the seal that goes around the hatch. And it's a project because some of the accident damage from the car, they did some of the repairs, and some of the repairs may inhibit the seal from actually going in place where it needs to be. And so at that point we'll have to determine what modifications, if any, are necessary for what sides of things to get it all to work and all to do what it's supposed to do. And then the second thing is on the dash, and many of our cars today have these. It's a light sensor, and basically what it does is it tells the computer when it's getting dark out, so it knows to put on your dash lights, and if your headlights are set to auto, so it'll either turn them on or open them up or whatever the case may be, however you have it set up. But that's the sensor that makes all that happiness happen. So anyway, and then the other thing I want to talk about is some of the projects that we'll work on the car, but the discovery that we made while we were looking at what we needed to do for the seal. We discovered some of the work that had been done in the past is kind of suspect. I don't want to dime anybody out or anything like that, but I want to say that some of it was a little bit shady. So let's get started on doing what we're doing. I'll show you what I'm talking about, and there we go. Okay, hopefully you can see this. I know you should be able to hear it just fine, but anyway, on where this fender, the accident damage, we originally thought that was confined to the front of the car, but the more we dig in, the more we find a few things that don't quite line up the way they should, and definitely a few things that were done kind of shady. So whoever did the work on it, you could have done better. So like this screw that's here, as we dig deeper into it in the video, we'll talk about it a little bit more, is basically a wood screw. The one up here in the front is just a panhead screw, not really holding anything, it's just kind of in place. Here's the beauty of it though, is this screw and this screw back here, they're both wood screws. Something that you would use on your deck or something like that out, you know, and well, not exterior either, mind you. These are interior type of screws. Why? Because that one's rusting. And did you see how it came right out? Because it's not bit into anything. It's just dropped in there so that it looks like there's a screw filling the hole. And then the one right behind it, oh yeah, same thing. So anyway, if you're thinking about buying a salvage title car, or if you're thinking about buying a car that's older, classic, something like that, that needs work, you know it needs work, look at these things. And even if you're still going to buy the car, some of this stuff is bargaining chips, because it's creating more work for you, because this fender is loose. It has two screws up in the front that are holding it, probably something down below that's holding it, but all in all, it is loose. The problem with it is there is a little bit of cracking and stuff back here in this corner. We'll see what we can do about that. But if nothing else, we'll shim the fender so at least it sits flush, so we can get some good body lines, and we'll tighten up these holes one way or another. We'll get something. If we have to do fiberglass work, if we have to do something, we'll do the best we can with what we've got to make this work out the way it should have instead of the way it has. So anyway, up here in the front, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but like I said, we'll go into that a little bit more in depth when we pull this stuff apart. But the whole purpose of this part of it is to talk about paying attention to the work done on something that you know, you're going to rely on, or you're going to do some more with, because this creates more work for somebody else down the road for not doing it right in the first place. But I also understand some of these places, when they buy auction cars and they rebuild them, they're not really in it for perfection. They're in it for getting it done getting it passable and getting it back on the road and out of their life. So anyway, be prepared for things like that. Know what to expect. Don't be surprised when you find some little things, but at the same time, use your resources to get them fixed and get them fixed correctly. So these are the kind of things that that I'm going to try to do. I mean, this seal just pops up. But anyway, some of the stuff I'm going to try to get a little bit more involved in is doing some of this kind of stuff because it is fun, but it is also educational. So anyway, all right, that's going to do it for today's video. Nice little update. Hopefully provide a little bit of information, a little bit of insight, and let you know what to expect coming up next. And so please like and subscribe. It helps me, helps channel growth, you know, blah, 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 all that YouTube stuff that all of us YouTube people say that we appreciate, which we really do. Every single one of them. Guarantee you those super big 5, 10, $15 million or million viewer channels, they appreciate every single subscriber that they get because it helps them, it helps their growth, and it hopefully helps other people. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Down here in the bottom corner is that little Yellow Jacket Garage logo. Click on that. It'll open up a little thing. Hit the subscribe button, and then there's a little bell looking thing. Click on that and it'll notify you when the next videos come out too. So it makes it a little bit easier to know when yours truly is doing something special, which I'm kind of special. So anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit, again, the Salvage Title C5. I appreciate Burke letting me use that one. Once in a while we do other videos on other things. I've got another one coming up, and me make y'all dizzy by spinning around a little bit. Don't forget we've got the Yellow Jacket Corvette. Not a whole lot of projects on that car coming up. Probably going to do a little bit of paint correction and stuff like that on it, so maybe that'll be something that y'all want to watch. But there's like a million paint correction videos out there on YouTube, and I probably don't do it like anybody else does it. So, and then of course we've got the Mercedes. Do have a project coming up on the Mercedes, and what I'm going to do is, since I can't find a video of it anywhere on YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and do one myself, and it might be one of the first ones. I'm actually going to pull the drive shaft out and replace the end bushings and the center support bearing. And I've got a little bit of a vibration that I'm detecting, and so hopefully that'll cure that. And then I'm going to do a tune-up on it, so all the spark plugs, wires, all that good stuff. And so that's coming up in the next few weeks, month and a half, because that stuff's not cheap. V8 car has 16 spark plugs, and they're all the iridium plugs, and so you're talking $10 a plug. So, and then you got to replace all the wires at the same time. So anyway, stuff gets expensive on some of these cars, kind of ridiculous. But anyway, there's the update. There's the end of that part of it. Appreciate y'all coming along so far, and we'll see you on down the road.